Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Dun, 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 dun. We're back live with your regularly scheduled programming. Futures are red again, baby. How are we feeling? How are we feeling out there? Are we feeling good? We feeling good? Little mixed bag today. Some things are green, some things were not. You know how it is. Good evening, Win Lambo, baby. Edward Morgan in the building. How are we doing? How's the portfolio? Nasdaq down almost 0.5%. Oil is up 2.5%. Phew. Commodities up, stock market down. That's usually how it's gonna go. What's up? Oh, that movie's great. That's my boy. That's a good one. That's a good one. Russia says Biden's war criminal claim has put relations on the verge of rupture. I'm pretty sure they've been ruptured, my guy. I'm pretty sure we sent like 150,000 troops on your border. I don't know. Things are going to get a little crazy out here. How are we doing, baby? We doing good? We got the Fed. Woo! 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 Look at that. Powell says the Fed will take necessary steps to address high inflation. Look at that little beautiful face. Look at young Jay Powell. Young Jay Powell and young Biden. They're like the dream team. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Looking fresh. Look at that. Look at the tie he's got going on. This guy's like, you want rate hikes? I'll give you rate hikes. He's like, I ain't playing around this time. This is my Paul Volcker moment. That was a very funny comment. The lady that was interviewing him earlier today said, she said, like, direct quotes. She said, this kind of sounds like your, the buck starts here, speech. And he laughed. And that's what they call the Paul Volcker speech in 1970 that changed the era of basically the Fed, of raising rates to fight inflation, where they raise rates to 20%. That was the Paul Volcker era. And when she said that, he just laughed, and I said, oh shit. It's about to get rough. It's gonna get rough, baby. I want to actually pull this chart up because I love pulling this up, and I hope that's not how it goes this time. Because it's not going to be pretty if this is what happens. But we'll take a look. St. Louis Fed. Go ahead and edit graph. Put in inflation. Good old inflation. I forgot the N. There we go. There we go. See, this was the Paul Volcker moment right in here. Actually, got that wrong. It wasn't 1970. It's like 1976. My apologies. And yeah, like historically, you have to bring the federal funds rate higher than this red line, which is inflation. So if you guys ever watch the Fed and they're talking about neutral rates, that's basically inflation minus the federal funds rate. So if you have 5% inflation, the federal funds rate is 5%, you have a neutral rate. That's why a lot of people, some of the business owners that I know, some of the investors that I know, they were taking out loans left and right during the last 2 years. So was I, but I mean, they were doing it on a multi-million-dollar scale because they're like, hey, inflation is, what was it at the time? 4 or 5%. You could get a loan at 2%. Effectively, inflation is eating down your loan so much that you're essentially getting free money. And that's what Powell talks about. So whenever he talks about neutral rates or going above that neutral rate, like he said today, that means taking the federal funds rate higher than the rate of inflation. And that's historically what they have to do. You'll notice that the blue line always is above the red line, and the red line is inflation. So if the markets start to price that in, well, besides this period right here during 2000, what was that, 17, 2016, 2017, right here it kind of went away. These are supply chain issues, like he talked about today as well. But other than that, you have to bring that rate above. If you start to hear that kind of talk, woo, get ready, baby. Mortgage rates are at their highs since 2018. I bought my first house in early 2019, and what I get, a 4.25% interest rate. So now it's higher than that. Like, oh man, I wanted to buy another rental property, but I'm like, I might need to wait a month or two and just see if prices come down a little bit, because, geez, I don't think it will, but. Mulan XL NILE. There we go. Let's talk some trades. What are you guys looking at? How's your night going, Tyler? Had a good day today, huh? Nah, not really. I can't sleep these days. So I'm on a weird schedule. Like, I get like no sleep, and then I wake up and I'm like super ready to go at night. It's terrible. He said, tell me some good news, T. Well, this is actually really good news. Check this out. You know, if the markets right now are pricing in so much hawkishness that when you see inflation finally peak, I don't know when that'll be. It's not going to be in the next reading. It might be after that. Commodities, they have come down, but the next CPI reading is going to be terrible. Whenever that peaks, or the war in Ukraine, comes to an end, whichever way that is, comes to an end, you're going to see a monstrous rally in the markets. So I could tell you that's for sure going to happen. I don't know the timing on that. Really hard to predict those things, but I think that's good news. I mean, I think so. It's like, it's down the line, but, it's good. Yeah, I got some BBIG plays too today. Let's see. What did BBIG do? I think I'm $20, a whole 20 spot. It did go up in after hours a little bit and towards the end of the day, but I got BBIG $4 calls April 14th, 10 of them at $31 a piece. I spent like $310. It's kind of like taking a little bit of profits throughout the past week or two and throwing it in that. I'll probably set a stop loss on it, because I'm not as certain on this at all comparatively to other trades, so I should probably go ahead and do that. I'll stop it out at 27. Oh shit, just because. Oh, did I clap myself? I kind of clapped myself. Actually, we'll give it some more breathing room. We'll give it more breathing room than that. Yeah, so we'll venue that, and hopefully I don't get stopped out of it. I'd lose what, $60 on the trade if that happens. I'm okay with that. But there's like no time in these contracts. April 14th is right around the corner, so the decay on these is gonna hit hard. Keep that in mind. If you guys are trading anything April 14th right now, any decrease in value, like if you have calls and the market goes down, you're gonna start to lose a lot on those April 14th contracts. About 50 more AMC shares today. Yeah, I like AMC right here. You're not seeing a lot of volume. There's not that much attention. It's not like you're buying AMC at peak attention, right? That's why I'm kind of more nervous about BBIG. I think there's more attention that could come, but there's not really a catalyst there from my understanding. With even Mullen, there was catalyst that was going on, right? They were in Car Buzz magazine. They were being quoted as compared with Lucid, Rivian, all these other companies, the Ford Mach-E, and the stock was at 50 cents, right? The next day I bought in at 70 cents. There was nobody talking about it, but there was also fundamental good news. With BBIG, I don't know of any fundamental good news, so it's really off of like Trey. I think this is kind of like a Trey pump here, which, don't get me wrong, you're free to say whatever you want. I'm not going to argue with it, but I'm definitely not that guy. I think people are free to say what they say, but there's not really too much catalyst behind it. If there is, let me know. I'm not exactly sure. I don't follow this stock, but seemed like a good opportunity. What do you think will be the best plays after AMC? Well, I have a lot of different stocks in my portfolio, but it just depends, right? Because everything's going to be taking a different level of risk. I think SoFi right now has a solid risk to reward profile. I think that thing could 10x in the next 3 to 5 years. Some people say that's not fast enough. But with long-term stocks, Square, PayPal, SoFi, Affirms I'm on the fence with that one, but Mullen I think could be good long term if they can get through this whole financing situation that they're going to face. They're going to have to raise capital soon and issue more shares, I believe. At least that's what you can see from their balance sheet. So stocks like that's really what I own. I think Snapchat will be really good the rest of this year. Advertisement started to kick back into gear. Like in January and February, you've seen some of the lowest advertisement rates that you've ever seen on YouTube, on Snapchat, on everything. It was like, whoa, what the hell happened? Like it really made you question the health of some of these companies. Now it's pretty much back to normal. And I think that's going to probably pick up, and Snapchat is poised to benefit. But Trade Desk, they're also another advertisement company. That one looks attractive. But as far as short-term trades, that's a whole different ballpark because things just evolve so quick. This week, I think I only made the BBIG trade today. Nothing too crazy. We're kind of in a weird limbo moment, but like last week, it was clear. I was betting on the Fed that the markets would go up. You hit the Snapchat, you hit, the JP Morgan, Snapchat, what else? There was a couple other like multi-100% gainers last week. But that's on a week-to-week basis. I couldn't have forecasted that 2 weeks ago, Nike is a good one. Yeah, I like Nike, but they're I feel like they're just how do I say it? Like there's definitely room to grow there, but they're around, right? If that makes sense. What I like to do is kind of try to find a stock that nobody is really looking at that could do really, really well. Like one that I did really well on was Yeti. I bought that thing during the crash of 2020 at $15 per share, and it went to what, 140, 150, or Crocs, right? There's a lot of those kind of stocks that you'll see, like everybody's getting Yeti cups. The kids are wearing Crocs right now. I see kids are all on Snapchat. They're not on Facebook. Like stuff like that. You can kind of, what's another one? Cody, right? People love girls, they like Cody and all that, and the stock was underappreciated at the time. Things like that, a lot of what you'll see in your surroundings can make you a lot of money in the markets. Like even like slime, when slime was really popular, like Elmer's, that was a great trade. Wall Street didn't see that. That's really like social arbitrage trading, but lots of opportunities with that. And those just kind of come and go though. I also do have DraftKings too. Thoughts on DWAC? I tried to sign up for True Social when it launched. I don't think it's out yet. I haven't heard anybody really talk about like posting on there. It might be out, but it wouldn't let me create an account. As far as the SPAC, now SPACs are weird because basically what's happening is a pool of investors get together and say they go to the SEC with 1 million shares. They want to list those, right? $10 per share. That's going to be your money that those investors have to put up for those, million shares, $10 a piece, $10 million they have to put up. I don't know what the actual number is. SPACs are usually $10 or $15. Lucid was 15 because there was a lot of demand. DWAC, I think it's 10. CFVI, it's 10. So that's why they don't fall under that base limit, or if they do, they only go under a couple cents. But what essentially happens is the company that they're buying out gets valued at a certain valuation. So then the group of the basically the SPAC company will buy a part of the company to take it public. And it all comes down to what the valuation is during that buyout process, what your value of your equity to shares are, right? Like imagine if a stock had 100 shares, to keep this simple. 100 shares issued, and those shares were worth $1, right? If you bought one share, you just acquired 1% of the company. Now, if there's 1,000 shares issued, and it's like what 1/10 of 1%, right? So there can be a big difference. I would like to see how it merges and then see what that valuation actually is. Like I could not tell you what Truth Social is valued at right now. I couldn't tell you if it's 5 billion, 10 billion, 25 billion. I couldn't tell you. That's the hard part. And there might be an actual number, but if it's not simple to find, if you got to calculate it up, you're not going to get a lot of price stability in the stock. But I think it'll probably do well. I think there will probably be advertisers for it. That's the question. Like, is there going to be enough advertisers to advertise on Truth Social with a lot of business practice, companies being so far left? Are they going to advertise with Truth Social? Probably. But then again, Do you take any profit from Mullen today? Yeah, I closed out of the debit spreads for like 100% profit earlier up here. Yeah. So, I sent the alert out too. Yeah, I closed out of that for 570, and I bought them for 300, I believe. It was like almost 100% profit. Yeah, closed out of that. So it was good. And I do have the covered calls, and I mean, like, it's very attractive to sell covered calls right now. I mean, what did I sell mine for? It's kind of ridiculous. Like, I should have waited, but I wanted to make sure a huge bag didn't. Well, relative to the money that I put in, this is really nothing in the grand scope of things. But 350 turned into $2,000 earlier. But yeah, I did sell these covered calls. I'm only down 26% now, so that's not looking as bad. But earlier, they were going for almost $200 a piece. You could have sold 5 of them for $1,000 earlier, almost $1,000. I spent $350. That's like 200 and some percent back just off of this. You agree to sell your stock at $5 per share. It's a win-win no matter what happens to the stock. That's why I was saying in the video earlier today, like, take profits, sell covered calls if you want to. Not a financial advisor here. There's a lot of ways to take profits, but it's definitely time to lock in some kind of profits. And when you're selling covered calls, you're not really hurting the potential of the stock. I know some people look at it like that, but you're selling covered calls, somebody buys them, market makers buy them, you're not hurting anything when it comes down to it. So yeah, it's good. Definitely a solid trade. Got in at 70 cents. Should have spent more. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. You always will say that, but risk management will do you very well. I go up 1,300 up at Mulan. Yeah, Mullen's good. If they can get out of this situation that they're in, they do have to raise capital pretty quick. If they can do that without crushing the stock too much, then it'll be really good. Virgin Galactic, yeah, that's an interesting one. I mean, I don't know. How do you guys feel about going to space? Oh, yeah, what I was going to say about the young Powell, his sexy face, too. He basically said today as well that even if the economy goes into a recession, they're still going to follow their rate hike trajectory. That they're not going to change courses because if we went into a recession. Which is wild. I was tripping when I heard that. I'm like, the Fed is really not with us. But, all they're trying to do when it comes down to it is get those inflation expectations down. Ortex for Stitch Fix. That's one I traded too back in the day. When the hell did that one come out? I remember playing earnings on that and hit a nice bag. Oh, it's way low compared to what it was. Yeah, that was 2020. Yeah, that thing got crushed. Oh my god. Yeah, wild moves back in the day. Well, back in the day, I shouldn't say that, but I think I traded this thing a couple times. You're talking about Stitch Fix, right? Yeah. 20.9% short interest. Yikes. Jeez. Cost bar max 1.9%. Yeah, this short interest has been high for a while, huh? I didn't realize it was that high. Yeah, look what happened last time when it was 40.5% short interest, December 15th. What happened to the stock? December. Oh, hold on. Yeah, look at that. Like clockwork. 40% short interest, the stock starts to go crazy. Yeah, you're going to see some wild short squeezes in the markets once you see Russia and Ukraine. Once that situation gets settled out, oh, it's going to be good. Do you think Mullen could get over 30 this squeeze and AMC over 10K? I mean, I like to look at things pretty reasonably. As far as Mullen at 30, I think it's physically possible. It's not impossible, but the thing is, do I think management would let it get that high before they issued stock? Probably not. If the thing went to 10, they would probably issue stock. And that's kind of being reasonable, right? I'm not trying to be the guy that is like the reining in the fun or the parade or anything, but this company needs to raise capital. And I know there's something, I heard something about a potential like government loan that was gonna happen for like $400 or $500 million, something like that. But you can't count on the government for anything besides collecting your taxes and taking your property if you die and don't have any family. That's it. Or enlisting you in the draft if we go into World War III. That's it. That's all you can count on the government for. They don't got no health insurance. You can't count on them for Social Security if you're even in your 40s. That shit's probably gone. It only has like 10 years left of funding. You can't count on the government for anything. So they would issue more stock, and that would definitely hamper anything. My thoughts. Could totally be wrong in that. But, yeah, they would probably take the opportunity to issue. Sadie. Jeez. She's going crazy. Sadie. Holy shit. She's probably barking at a squirrel. Yo, Sadie. Yeah, that short interest is wicked. What the hell? 34.86%. Cost bar max of 280%. Oh my god, that's nasty. That's so nasty. IMPP, what the oh, this is one I looked at on the live not too long ago. I don't know what's going on with it. It's really hard to give an opinion if I don't know the backstory, the context here. It's come down significantly though, obviously. So I mean, things like that, you could buy 100 shares for $150. It's not gonna break the bank, and you get some upside if there is upside. It looks like petrol, it's connected to oil, so it should follow oil, and oil is up about 2.5% right now. So should be decent as long as the price of oil does continue to go up, and it has been with the talk about Europe banning oil. But it also at the same time makes you wonder how much of that is already priced in due to the price of oil continuing to go up. But Yeah, really, this market is driven around headlines though, and you're not seeing anything too crazy. Anything like overly bearish. Not really anything crazy today. Besides Powell. Powell is fucking blowing my mind. I still don't get it, but well, I do, but yo, what's up? Yo, and then as far as AMC, I think really anything's possible with AMC. Quiet guest, be quiet. G. We go. There we go. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen your name anymore. Or what? I don't think I've ever seen your name in here. So welcome. If this is your first time, what is a good oil stock? Ooh, that's a good one. Well, just depends. I think BP could probably see some nice upside because it's been lagging behind a lot of other oil stocks. Come on, BBIG. Come on, man. Actually, I want to look at Mullen a little bit more too, but BP has headwinds from Russia and possibly taking over their assets or whatnot. But BP is in this perfect, just ascending wedge right here. Look at that. That's textbook. Since 2020, textbook. I had this drawn out right here. I believe, was it right? No, maybe it was like in this area. It came down, touched the bottom end range, and now it's heading back up. I do have $35 calls, 10 of them for April 14th. It's really going to come down to the wire, though. BP is going to have to make a big move back to 30, the mid 30s to see those do well. But I think BP, technically speaking, looks pretty good comparatively to some other stocks. It's still, way down here. And BP is not in a bad position like some people want to say. But that's probably my favorite on a risk to reward basis. But a lot of the other ones are just too high. Like you're basically buying at sometimes the 5-10 year highs for these companies. BP, you're not, but more headwinds than other oil companies. But riding it right down to $10. Yeah, there we go. Like Tesla take in the past. Yeah, Tesla was a good one. I definitely missed my opportunity on Tesla. I remember my daughter was being born August 21st, and I was in the hospital August 20th, I believe the day before, and I'm looking at it. This is when there was all the hype going on the first time around. The thing had went up like 50%, and then they had announced the split shortly after that, I believe. And it was 500-600, I believe, pre-split, pre-any split. And I'm like, oh, man. I'm like, it's kind of expensive. And what do I know? That would have been like a 5x from that point. Same thing with Ethereum, too. I was going to buy Ethereum around the same time, and that was only $300 a coin. Yes. I hit some nice trades, but I also miss out on a lot of good ones. Sometimes that risk to reward profile just will do you dirty. But Tesla's outperformed anyone's expectations for the stock, though, to be quite honest. Like, nobody expected Tesla to do this good, this consistently. Tesla's had very little headwinds when it comes to anything. Like, anything. They've always done well. Like, don't bet against Tesla. Can you check Indo for a possible short squeeze? Sure thing. Indonesia Energy. Oh, yeah, this is the Canadian listed one, huh? Amex. Yeah, that's just crazy. That's just a wild-ass move. What? What? What is going on here? Cost to borrow max of 491%. They're like, yeah, none of you guys are going to be able to take out any short positions. That's stupid. That's stupid high. That's like trying to limit people taking out short positions. They're like, too many hedge funds have got blown up. Yeah, you're not doing that no more. But 51.36% short interest of free float. Current short interest of 697,000. Cost of, those numbers are wild. Cost to borrow max of almost 500%. Utilization of 72%. Of course, though, that's expected when you're looking at 500% cost to borrow. Who would? I would lend out any share I owned for as long as somebody wanted if they're going to pay me 500%. That's a given, so I wouldn't even pay attention to that. But still, 72% is pretty damn good if you could get paid in between 300 and 500% for lending out your stock. That's wild, actually. Days to cover, stupid low. It's not even worth mentioning. What are the option activities? This thing, oh, it doesn't have options. Ooh, that's interesting. I mean, it looks pretty promising. It is oil related, oil probably natural gas too. Did it go up today? It must have, right? No, it went down today. That's wild. Yeah, $2.87. I don't know. That's a tough one. Especially there's no options on it. I would be very, very, very careful. Very careful. You know, you can't really play it cheap unless you only buy a couple shares. I personally wouldn't touch it, but ETC and LTC. What is yeah, ETC has been doing some crazy shit. It's my first time in here, Tyler. Well, welcome. Welcome. Oh, it's a party now. David in the house. Suncor Energy. Let's take a look at that one. Anything energy right now should be pretty decent. Those short squeeze ones, though, are hard to tell. Like today, oil was up, 3%? And that Indo Energy went down 5%. So, you know, just got to be careful. Did I type that in right? Suncor. Yeah, it says there's no data on it. Apparently. Yeah, 4%er. Huh? What the hell? Well, that's crazy. What? Probably a reverse split or something. That's insane. Yeah, it's not too terrible, right? 2020, you're barely over 2020 levels. As long as the thing is not up to its neck in debt, it should be pretty good. And I can't pull up anything on here, it looks like. Yeah, what are the commodities doing? Mullen, baby. Yeah, Mullen, it's, you know, what happened today, that's gonna happen. Even during squeezes, right? Like there's a lot of times when you're watching a stock that is squeezing that will go straight up, come back down a third of the price, and then go straight back up. It's all about the velocity when you're actually going through a short squeeze. It's not going to be straight up, but you're going to go up more than you're going to go down. But those downturns can be very, very violent as well. Like, it wasn't even too crazy today as far as velocity, but you did come down at a decent pace. I will say that. It was a decent pace, but not too crazy. Yeah, everything is kind of chill. Nasdaq down 0.42%, S&P 0.33%, Dow down 0.18%. I want to look at commodities. Where the hell do I look at the commodities, man? Okay. Yeah, we got gold, silver up, palladium up, copper, platinum down, wheat up 2.1, soybeans. Yeah, everything's pretty much up as far as commodities. Yeah, that's going to be the correlation too. Commodities go up, oil goes up, and markets go down. But we'll see. There's more Fed speakers throughout this week. Who do we have tomorrow speaking? Richmond, Fed Manufacturing Index, ECB speakers. Fed Williams speaks at 9:30. ECB Lane. Fed Daly speaks at 1 p.m. Fed Mester speaks at 4. Wednesday. Great Britain inflation rate. Shout out to GB. New home sales 9 a.m. on Wednesday. Fed Daly speaks again on Wednesday. I know Powell speaks again after that too. Fed Waller. Initial jobless claims, durable good orders. Fed Evans, Fed Bostic. Fed Williams. I know Powell speaks again, but it might not be on here. It might be on a separate event. I'm not exactly sure. But I know he does speak again, and that's going to be important to pay attention to. Panic sold and rebought. SPCB. Look at it. 2% short interest, cost borrow max 27%. That's really high. I mean, that's pretty damn high. Utilization at almost 100%. Look at the chart. What'd you say again? SPCB? Supercom. I don't know what they do, but a lot of these penny stocks look attractive right now just because they're beaten down so much and they're so cheap. I try to think to myself, what are the odds of this thing going down 50% or going up 100%, right? I think with a lot of these penny stocks, you have a better probability of going up, 100%. This going from 69 cents to, $1.30 rather than this going down to 34 cents. You could always be wrong though, but like we only touched 25 cents right here, straight back up, so if you're at these levels, it's so cheap to play that, I would definitely keep it small. That hopefully that goes without saying. Don't put a lot of money into trades like this, but, a lot of them do look attractive right here. Want to do some live homework? Depends. I was never really a fan of homework, but I do a lot of stock homework now. I'm always looking at something. What's up with Palantir? Squeezes are inevitable. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and smash the like button and tell your friend, tell your mom, your brother, your cousin, your uncle. You always got that uncle that, wants to make some money, right? You know what I'm saying? It's good. It's good. How did the Russian stock market do since it opened back up? Did it open up? I have not heard anything about it opening up. I don't think it has. Unless I'm sleeping under a rock or something, living under a rock or something. I have not heard anything about that. Oh, it did. Why did I not hear about this? Moscow stock market reopens for some bond trading. Did it just open or something? Russia has taken the first tentative steps towards reopening the domestic financial markets that were shut down the moment the West imposed an unprecedented set of sanctions on its economy in response to the invasion of Ukraine. The Moscow Stock Exchange reopened for business on Monday, albeit not for trading in equities, which remained suspended. Instead, there was limited trading in Russian domestic ruble-denominated bonds. Okay, that's why I didn't hear about it. That's makes a lot of sense. Yeah, so it's not stocks that are trading; it's just the bonds. And they're pretty much, worthless at this point. Pretty much. Who's really gonna buy Russian bonds? You got to be crazy. I think their money looks cool though. I want some rubles. If anybody has rubles, send them this way. I just like currency, and I don't know where to find rubles. It's in hot demand these days. Everybody wants rubles. Can't find none. Just playing, but I like money in general. I think money just looks really cool. Like I collect coins. Kind of cool. Well, I think it's kind of cool. Buying all different kinds. Well, I don't really buy them. I get really good deals on them though. And then you'll get some that are worth like a couple hundred. And you're like, damn. Or you get 4 quarters that are 1964 or older. So like under 1964. 4 of those equals 1 ounce of silver or 10 dimes. So you find 4 quarters, let me know. I'll cash you out. An ounce of silver goes for $25. You got 4 quarters. Let me know. I like silver too. Did that so they can make their bond payments to the USA. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Baladala. AMC is very stressful, but it will be worth it in the end. Yeah, and what I've done pretty much forever, with a lot of positions, like you might be down a lot on AMC, you can stop buying it as much or start allocating say half the money, to something else, just so you have something working for you as well. Like, I've with positions that I don't want to add to anymore, like a firm, because that company is just, with the market the way it is and just everything going on, it's one of those where I really don't want to add to, but I'm not going to sell it and take the loss. So I'll sit on it as long as it takes, but I have a lot of other things working for me too. Options, that's a great thing too, but yeah, I definitely agree with that. It's definitely stressful when you know what's going on. You see just the blatant, like, they kind of throw it in our face. The hedge funds institutions, they're like, yeah, we're never going to cover on our short positions. You're just going to have to look at the short interest going up and up and up and up. And then, inevitably it will backfire on them. But, who knows exactly when that'll happen. I think the credit situation will get progressively worse throughout this year, especially if the Fed comes out and starts half point rate hike, every meeting or every 2 meetings. That's going to just help us a lot, but it's going to make things a little shaky. But, buying AMC right now is substantially less risky than buying it where, like, my average was for a long time. Like, 30s, the high 30s. Like, it's way less risky buying it at 15. I think that goes without saying. But then again, this is exactly what we want. Or what I want. Everybody wants something different, but I want to see little attention on a stock, and then I want to see a lot of attention come back to a stock. Like AMC, there's not as much attention to the stock. There will always be an elevated level of attention, but as people rotate out of the stock, people will remember things. Like, I can sit here and remember some of the trades that I hit from years ago. It's like, if I see that motherfucker moving now, if I see Stitch Fix or Redfin or any of the other big trades that I've hit in the past start to move crazy, I know what can happen. and I'll be looking at it differently. I'll look at it twice. And I think that's going to be the case for AMC for a very long time. And I think later on throughout this year, it's going to get very good, especially as the business continues to get better and improve. Hopefully, they can get their profit margins good, which I think with them closing down as many money losing locations that they had, that should be a good thing. And if they can issue a dividend, oh man, hats are off to them. That'll be great. When you buy stocks, do you have an average length of time that you hold for? Just not really. Just depends if it's for something like the long term or like a trade. Like Mullen, I went into it like I put $350 in. I'm prepared to lose all of it if it's a big scam. It's not going to break the bank, or it's going to do very well. And then I'll kind of assess as we get, as the price goes up. But I just kind of buy and hold things. Like here's a couple stocks I've held for a very long time. I mean, Abivai, look at this one. I mean, this is a dividend stock. I'm up 56.5% on this. Again, wish I put more money into it, but it's been a solid performer. And just look at like the dividends. Like when you buy a stock, you should just hold it as long as it takes to do well. Like, you should look at it like a 10-year type commitment. I first bought Abivai November 15th, 2019. I've never sold a stock. And I've collected, goes from $1.07 dividend to $5 to 7 to 19 to 20, 21, 29, 31.75. Really, I did buy it in between here, but ever since 1950, I haven't bought anymore. From February 16th, 2021. 1915, that's a dividend. $20.69, $20.92, $28.95, because they increase their dividend every year, and then $31.75. You just buy shit and hold it, to be honest, depending on what it is. If it's a trade, I mean, you don't want to hold those back into the ground, obviously. And it's going to be different with everything, but generally speaking, if I buy a stock, I'm gonna hold it, until I think it's pretty much at its maximum capability. Like if I bought SoFi right now, which I have a lot of SoFi or DraftKings or anything else, I'm gonna hold that stock until it makes sense to sell it. Like if SoFi were to 10x. Right, SoFi 10x, it goes from a $7 billion market cap to a $70 billion market cap. My $7,000 turned into 70,000. Cool. Or $8,000, $9,000, whatever I have in it. Right, 10x that, 80, 90 grand, whatever the number is. If SoFi is now at $80 billion, $90 billion market cap, what's the odds of that again doubling from that, going to $170 billion market cap or $180 billion market cap, rather than the new company that you could see a good future in, right? That's kind of the way I look at things. What's the risk to reward proposition? That's the way I look at anything, is what's the risk to reward here? Not to diss anybody that's talked about that Indo Energy company or whatever, but the risk to reward when you're looking at that is not very good. Like, sure, could it go up? Yes, definitely, 100% it could go up. But what's the probabilities of this thing going, doubling up from here or coming down 50%? Like, it's not a good risk to reward ratio. And that's the way I look at anything. That's the best, in my opinion, the only way to look at things. Or like a Apple. Like, why the hell am I going to invest in Apple when there's companies that are growing 10x the speed of Apple, or 5x, that are in good situations, that have a long trajectory of growth? I think it's going to be a lot easier for this company, like a SoFi, to double rather than an Apple to double. And it all depends on like your age and all of that. You're going to take some losses. You're going to be wrong on certain stocks. I mean, I was wrong on Neo. That thing clapped me. I was wrong on Neo. I think I bought that thing in the 40s. I think I sold it in the 30s. Like, I got out of Neo a long time ago. But I was wrong in that one. I was wrong on it. Lost money on the options too. I still think it's a good business, but you live and you learn. China is uninvestable. Just don't buy anything in China. Not financial advice. Be fully prepared to lose your whole investment if you do. That's what I got out of that one. That's the biggest lesson I got from Neo. And I mean, it's been a good lesson because I was going to invest in Alibaba when it was like 200 on a book value. It looks really good, but odds are the thing goes to zero in the next 5 to 10 years because China will probably delist all of its companies from US markets. So keep that in mind, Valuable lessons though. Tyler, what's your thoughts on stocks never trend up or down, but always pays a dividend? Yeah. Well, like my opinion on it is, what does O pay? Well, cause I own rental properties, right? So I try to look at anything like what's the risk to reward? What's the potential I'm going to get? So you're going to get a 4.25% dividend. It's easy to invest in something like this. So it's good. I mean, I like it. You're going to be losing a little to inflation, I guess, if you want to look at it like that. If you have dividend reinvest on and you're compounding your dividends, you'll be fine. Forget inflation. It doesn't even matter. But like I do rental properties, and it's very easy to do that. It's hands off, and you're gonna make double, if not triple, the dividend yield that you're gonna get on this for roughly the same amount of money, right? If you put $5,000 into this, or $10,000 into this, you're gonna make $425 a year. If you put $10,000 into a rental property, you get a $20,000 house. That's 5% into the down payment. Then you're gonna make most of my properties are around a 10% cap rate, like a dividend, right? 10% cash flow, and then you're gonna get 3 to 7% equity increase typically if you buy in a decent area. And you know what I do every month? I sit back and watch the money go into my bank account. That's it. Simple as that. Like nothing else goes into it. Sometimes property manager will call and say, hey, something happened, like the toilet's clogged or something. You say, okay, call a plumber. That's it. Like $100, cool. Just depending how much you want to be hands-on or hands-off. But I do like REITs. I actually made a decent amount of money on REITs in 2020 when everything was crashing. What's it called? There's a lot of them that I made decent money on. One was like $2 and it's sitting at like 10 now. I sold it not too long ago. I don't even remember what it is though. I kind of just set it and forget it. But if I were to go with any REITs, O is definitely a good one, or Simon Property Group, but I think that one pays a little bit less out, but it's solid. There's a lot of them though. But I would stay away though, on that note, anything that has I had this one, new residential investment, but there was another one. Yeah, but I would stay away from anything that really has like malls in it, because malls are really sketchy. Like they're hard to sell. I don't think O has too many malls in it. I had that one too. They're hard to sell. There's not a market to sell them. And they do kind of just go downhill. Two Harbors Investment, I had that one. I wanted to look at the other one. There was one that I bought for like $2, and it's at like 10. Crazy. During the crash of 2020. You can get things for steals during crashes, and that's kind of what we're living through right now. Neo got shorted to the ground. Neo got smacked 2 days after those stimmy checks came out. Yeah, Neo's a great business. I got to give it to Neo on that. They were close to bankruptcy. China came in, bailed them out. They have a solid business. I like the product. I mean, I've never like sat in it, right? Because they don't ship to America yet. But as far as I know, battery as a service, that's the gold mine with Neo. But just China is uninvestable. And in the next 5 or 10 years, you will lose all your money in Chinese stocks. If you set it and forget it, and you wake up one day 20 years from now, those will be zero. Like, there's no other way about it. It's like playing a big game of hot potato. Eventually, sounds bad, but it's happened more times than not. About 80% of the time, when a smaller power rises up to test a larger power, there's a war since the year 2000, or since zero, right? The dawn of Christ. There has been 16 rising powers to compete with the larger power, and 12 out of 16 times there was a war. So odds are something will happen, and the first thing China's gonna do is, yeah, we're gonna delist our stocks. Then you're clapped. So I'll just be careful about that. I like to look at things in the long term. So if you guys are trading it doesn't even matter. Bought Mullen Friday. As of today, I'm up 2,400 gains. Hope this stock rockets. Yeah, I think it's definitely it's possible. It looked like you were starting to see the short squeeze today, and it still looks like, I mean, you've seen gas in the after hours too, up 4.36%. And I like how it's kind of holding up. This was really the only time in the past week you've seen a weird kind of sell-off from kind of approaching end of the day, but you did recover. As long as they don't issue shares, then you're gonna be good. Young Biden has done some good. He created more Republicans. That's true. I mean, it's pretty bad. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I do like Trump. I honestly wouldn't have a huge issue with Biden, but I don't like the weakness that is portrayed. I can't stand that. America's not weak. Do not portray us as being weak. Do not do that. Stop doing that. We don't want war with the Russians. That's not in our national security interest. They're over here fucking tripping out. Dude, Russia's proven what they got, and they really don't have anything compared to America. Stop pretending like you're scared of them, or they're going to use that card against us, and then we're really going to head into a conflict. Just keep us out of war. Try to clean up the streets and the crime. Get the drugs out as much as you can. Secure our borders. Make America great again. And that's all you got to do. And I don't think that's a too difficult thing to do. Stop portraying weakness. I hate that. I honestly don't think a Republican in general, but especially Trump, would sit here and say, it's not in our national security interest to go to war with Russia. They would kind of keep their mouth shut, or they would say, something cocky, they would say, like most Americans would say. You're supposed to represent, not make us look weak. We're obviously not weak. Come on. I hate that. Every time it's not even about the stumbling or the speech shit. We get it, dude. Sometimes, shit happens. You can't talk right sometimes. Sometimes I can't talk right. Doesn't matter, right? It's just, stop making us look weak. You now sound like Trump. I don't try to. Trump says, this is fantastic. I can't even do the Trump. There's a guy on TikTok that can do a great Trump accent. It's perfect. If he called me, I'd be like, is this Trump? What's going on? Is this punked or pranked? But it's good. How about gold mines? Gold mines are interesting. It's there's a couple aspects when it comes down to gold mines. Obviously, what's the company value? These are the only things I look at when I'm looking at a gold mine. Is what's the company's market cap? What is the whole company worth? What's the metals in the ground worth? And then what kind of basically mining rate do they have? How much money does it cost that company to make or mine an ounce of gold? A company that It said the average, I know we looked it up one time, and it said the average was around $1,200 per ounce just to mine it and get it to market. If a company can do that for 900 an ounce or 800 an ounce, that's going to be a lot better than a company for 1,200 an ounce. It's basically the profit margin there. That's key, because if your operation is not efficient, then you're not going to do as well. Even though you might have more metals in the ground, it's going to be a tougher situation. And it's so focused on the price of gold, and the price of gold has done well since 2000. I mean, the price of an ounce of gold used to be like 200, so it's pretty much 10x in the last 22 years. But so it's not bad, but they're gonna follow what gold does. So it's kind of like that secular rotation, if you will, every couple of years. Young Beezy used to get punked in school. Well, not hit 100, maybe 20. Yeah, 20 would be a really good price. 20 would be solid. That would make so many people so much money. Even if it went to 10, that would be rock solid. I don't think anybody would really argue that. But it could go higher, but that's what I was thinking too. Kirk, 20 to 25 tops. Yeah, I mean, that Indo one, that thing is crazy. There's obviously differences there, but you can see some pretty crazy moves. But everybody was talking about this stock. That's all I heard for in different live streams or chat rooms. That's all I heard was Indo. That's everybody was talking about it. Ooh, what do you feel about SoFi this week? Well, SoFi is it's very affected by the Fed. I should say very much affected by the Fed. Comparatively to even something like Square or PayPal, because they're more of like a peer-to-peer transaction based. Like I use PayPal, and they'll take like a what is it, like a 1.5% rate for any money over like $500 that you send, something like that. So it's kind of like a peer-to-peer like transaction base, at least for PayPal. Square's a little bit different. They're all a little bit different, but SoFi is more of that lending. So as the Fed speakers start to talk more bearishly as far as raising rates at a more aggressive pace, that will tend to hurt SoFi more. And I don't mean it'll actually hurt the business more. In theory, it would. I don't think it will as much, but the markets are pricing in the expectation of that. So if rates really go to what the markets are starting to price in, 2% by the end of the year, I mean, mortgage rates are already over 4%. Like, you're going to start squeezing out a lot of that demand for lending, and that in theory is going to hurt SoFi. And even if it doesn't, that's what the markets are going to price in. So we have a lot of Fed speakers this week. If somebody is a little bit more on the dovish side, then you definitely could see a move, a decent move. But the overall consensus from Bostic today and Fed Powell was this might be our 1970s moment, where federal funds rate goes from 4.68% to 20% in 2.5 years. Like, hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully that doesn't have to happen. You'll go into a deep recession. But even if we're anywhere close to that, even if we go back to 6 or 7%, that's gonna be wild in even a 2-year time frame. Like, I don't even want to imagine that. Nobody's gonna do any lending at all. I don't think that would happen. But the markets can start to price in the wildest shit. But what I will tell you is that I would be on the lookout for the Russia-Ukraine war ending sometime. Russia can't afford to do this forever, go to war, because they're broke. Their country is failing. Like, Putin's going to be overthrown by the time this is all said and done, more than likely. After all, that's why they sold Alaska to us in the worst real estate deal in history. Um, they sold that to us in the, I believe, 1850s, 1860s, because they were at war and couldn't afford the war. So that's going to happen now. The question is, does it happen sooner rather than later? But when that happens, oh man, you're going to see everything go crazy. SoFi is going to be a big beneficiary of that, because markets would instantly price in less supply chain issues, because hopefully we lift sanctions, right? And things would get back to normal, inflation would go down. So I don't really have any super high expectations given what we've seen from the Fed, but we could wake up tomorrow and there's a temporary ceasefire. SoFi, DraftKings, everything that has been beaten down is up 10% apiece. That's possible, and I'm not going to draw any definitive conclusions one way or the other. Kind of keep it nimble. I'm not really taking any heavy positions one way or the other. I kind of have my portfolio a little bit balanced right now. I got Apple debit spreads. I got some of the BBIG calls. Other than that, not too much is going on. I sold a lot of covered calls to make premium on that aspect. But let's see what was I going to do. Yeah, but this is going to be important. The markets are kind of lagging behind this, but let's see, previous week's probability. So look at this. I hope you guys can see this right. Previous week's probability percentage. So 0.75 to 1% right here. This is pricing in the probability of a 0.5% rate hike, right? And that was at 2.7% last week, earlier in the week. Now it's at 61.6%. So a majority of market participants are pricing in a 0.5% rate hike. So this is what I'm going to be watching very closely, but the markets have not fallen nearly enough to be accepting a 0.5% rate hike right now. It's thrown around. Markets, Fed funds rate is expecting this, but there can be a lag between the markets, right? Like the markets, they've come down a little bit. Like they came down a little bit today, but not nearly as much as you would expect to see a dramatic flip in pricing. And even the previous day probability for a 0.5% rate hike at the next meeting, May 4th, was 43.9%. Now it's at 61.6%. That's a dramatic change, and the markets, they have not reacted to it. So odds are, as the week does progress, the markets will start to price this in a little bit more, and you will probably see a move to the downside, unless something comes out and there's good news. Russia, Ukraine, that's going to be the biggest potential bullish catalyst, but we'll have to wait and see. I mean, that's very interesting, though. Yo, start over. Smash the like button. I got my free membership yet. All mods should be free. That's true. We should get on that. Can I just gift you guys a membership? I'm not sure how to do that. I'll look into that though. Make your guys' chat stand out a little bit more. You can saw the institutions buy shares for HYMC. I think that can surprise you. Are they really, huh? I mean, if they can get the capital, if that's all they need to start mining all those metals in the ground, doesn't look like a terrible thing. Oh yeah. Oh, you actually deserve you deserve it. You deserve it. This guy came in there with Mullen. He's like, "Bro, check this one out." That was a good one. That was a real good one. Always in here too. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see anything too crazy. Citadel buying Citadel increased their position 128%. First Manhattan Company increased their position 418%. Okay. Holy shit. 2.1 million shares. Virtue Financial increased by a brand new position of 49,000 shares. A couple index funds, but they move around a lot. Moderate Capital, 10 million shares. Wild. Yeah, some of those are pretty interesting. Citadel increased 125%. First Manhattan, 2.1 million shares. That's a decent amount. 418% gain. Then some index funds, but nothing too crazy right there. Tyler, don't want to cost you money, just chasing cheese. I like it. I like it. Think PBIG stays over 3 this week. I have 25 $3 calls for Friday. Average 30 cents. Oh, there you go. For Friday. Oh, man. Oh, man. That's an interesting one. That's either going to lose big or pay out big. That one's, I would be quick to make that one free. I got the, what did I get? The $4? What did I get? The $4 calls? I believe. Yeah. The $4 calls for April 14th. Up a dub, up a, $20. But yeah, I spent like $300. It looked good in after hours. It initially had fallen a little bit, but then continued that move up. And kind of what I like about this as well is you're not really seeing too many people talking about it. It's not to the extent of Mullen. Feel all buy orders routed to the dark pools today. Yeah, it was pretty slow moving. Like the damn like comparatively to something else for the volume that we've seen, even 86 million. It's not a crazy day for them, but it's still decent. And the thing was going so slow. Like it would change like 1 cent a minute. I'm like, this can't be right. Up a bird. That'd be good though. Ayo, Mr. White in the building. It's good though. I think it could be good. Actually, let me see. Did I look at BBIG today? Yeah, I think it had like a 20% short interest, I believe. If I'm not wrong here. 16.78%. Cost to borrow is pretty high too. Cost to borrow max of 17.97%. Utilization of 100%. 29.31 million shares that are sold short. Not too shabby. What are the futures doing? I haven't even looked at the futures in a second. Coming up a little bit. Oil going down a little bit. NASDAQ up 0.34%. And the bonds are just going crazy still. 10-year at 2.33%. That's nutty. What is happening? This is like what your loans, like your home loans, auto loans are more so connected to. So you're just seeing it just shoot up. Like you're well above 2019 levels. That's tough. Pricing in a lot. pricing it a lot right now. What was 2019 interest rates? It was not that bad. Yeah, the federal funds rate in 2019 was almost 2.5%. And the 10-year treasury is above 2019 levels. That's pricing in a lot. Jeez. That's kind of ridiculous. 2018, you were at 3.19%. What was the damn? Yeah, that's the thing though. That pricing is crazy right now. Jeez. Well, damn. Yeah, frigid man. So do you only answer stock questions? Do you mess with crypto? I do like crypto. I have a couple issues with it though. Like I like the risk to reward ratio for a lot of cryptos. Like I think, especially at this point, a lot of cryptos, you have a better probability of going up from here, even if it takes a long time, than seeing a very long lasting like crypto winter. The issue I have though, and why I really only buy Ethereum Classic and Ethereum, is because with other cryptos, it's like you're really buying the technology, not the coin. So what makes one technology better than the other? And then if you're looking at it as an investment, because obviously there's things you could point out that makes one better than the other, but is the market going to look at that way? Are they going to adapt it, and are people going to continue to buy it? Like from where I see it right now, like Ethereum is kind of like the poster, well, Bitcoin, Ethereum, they're kind of like the poster child. Like if you think of crypto, if you're somebody that doesn't know much about crypto, you've probably heard of Bitcoin and Ethereum on the news. You probably heard about it somewhere. These other coins, not as much. And then at the same time, some are scams, and it's just difficult in that aspect. Like which one is really gonna catch hold and start to actually see that mass adoption. But you know, throwing 50, $100 into different coins, it's probably not going to do you too much harm. One of them is bound to hit big eventually, even if it takes a while. But I personally like Ethereum and Ethereum Classic just because you have some level of safety there. And then I throw money into other shit coins too. I mean, I got Dogelon Mars, the Elon coin. I put $50 into that. I'm not tripping. If it goes to zero, I lost $50. It's like a long-term lottery ticket. But do I believe in whatever technology that is? No, not at all. But I do like different cryptos. The ones that have been around a while too. Like some of them I'm not gonna chase. I'm like, well, who is it? I think Meet Kevin made a video about the same what was it? Squid coin? I think he said like stay away from it too. But you know, coins like that pop up out of nowhere, I'm not touching any of that. If they've been around, like even Doge has been around since like 2015, that's established. That's relatively safe from scams and stuff like that. But a lot of coins since even 2020 have started to come out. And I just can't touch any coin that's super new. Dogelon Mars. Yeah. Like if you put $50 into Sheeb, I mean you would have done pretty damn well. Yeah, I'm a big ETC believer. Yeah, me too. You've definitely got rewarded here in the last couple of days. ETC is solid. I mean, they've put in a lot of safety measures to it. You got the smart contracts with it. The Ethereum Classic hash rate, I have not checked it in a while, but it has been significantly up the last time it did. Yeah, it's been very steady. Like, look at that hash rate. You know, the lowest point, 21 th/s. I don't know exactly what th/s means. I could probably look it up, but right. So it's been relatively stable, the hash rate, the security, pretty much of the blockchain, but like comparatively to what it was, when the thing got hacked or whatever, like attacked, and it dipped down way down here. There's been a lot of safety protocols to it, and this is just showing you the interest in mining it. Like there's an interest in mining ETC again. Mm. Terahash. Oh, Terahash. Oh, okay, okay. I'm slow when it comes to that. I guess I've never took a second to look it up. Got you. Thank you for that. Look at ETC on the 4-hour chart with 13, 30, 48, and 20 EMA. Oh, it's been crazy. Even the last 24 hours up 6.20%. Why is it doing that? I tried to look and I couldn't read any of the articles because they all wanted subscriptions. I gotta actually type it in. Bitcoin falls 42K. Ethereum Classic surges 50% weekly. I like that headline. Bitcoin Gold, Ethereum Classic shoot for the moon. Are people on the hunt for cheaper alternatives? There's like no news though, is there? Oh, hold on. Is that it? Come on, dude. Why? Why's everything got to be a damn subscription? It says news magazine and website Time Magazine said it will start accepting the newly launched Ethereum-based cryptocurrency. Come on. Yeah, what is the news behind this? Does anybody know? I was butt deleting Leander. Oh, my bad. I was like, oh, did he say something? I didn't know, but you're a mod. I was just gonna roll with it. So I didn't know. Not sure what anyone else is doing, but I am getting my gains in Mullen and buying more shares of AMC. Just me personally. Yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing. I want to keep more cash right now because I do have a little bit of margin. Not even close to seeing a margin call. You would have to see like a worse crash than March of 2020. But I think there's a lot of good things going on right now. The news the Treasury was withdrawing, leaving ETC truly decentralized, and then with Ethereum going into proof of stake, miners will switch over. Ooh, I got you. Yeah, Ethereum 2.0 is supposed to come out in June. CTC went from 25 to 170. That was a lovely ride. I was a part of that too. Yo, popping in late. How's things going? It's going all right. We're kind of all over the place tonight, honestly. Penny stocks, energy, crypto, futures, commodities. Just gorgeous young Powell that crashes the stock market. Fucker. Young Powell's savage. He doesn't even care. Like, they asked him, are you still going to keep raising rates if the economy goes into recession? Yeah. We need price stability. That's what he said. I'm like, word, bro. I feel you. Word. Yeah, coin, I believe. Yeah, Ape coin, that's a interesting one. Yeah, people aren't just going to stop making money, right? Yeah. And You know, miners too, that helps to secure the network. I think that could be good. And inevitably, it has to have some kind of, not a close valuation to Ethereum, but there's definitely a lot of room to improve on the valuation of ETC. Even after this rally, it's still, like, if you're looking at the technology the two have, like side by side, it's not too far off. They've been making a lot of changes here in the last 2 years to Ethereum to upgrade it, but the market cap, $5.5 billion. Not too crazy when you're looking at Ethereum. That's 361 billion market cap. It's a wild disconnect there. Cybersecurity stocks to start squeezing in after hours. Yeah, that was a what was that? The comment from the White House basically that said Russia might be planning a cyber attack. What are good cyber stocks though? I never looked into them. I've neglected them. Uh, what's it? Cloudflare? No, I don't think so. How you do that? Yeah, it's up there. It's up there. What's that? 2 billion? Wow, that's kind of crazy. Apecoin, yeah, Apecoin's ridiculous. 4130 on Ethereum Classic again. Yeah, that's crazy. I was hoping it went lower to get more, but it's still, look at the volume though. It's still tiny compared to what it was. I mean, there's a lot more room to head higher. Very encouraging. It's at a key level too. ETC short squeeze. On XRP TCI, you won't regret it. Yeah, I need to. It was top 5 yesterday. Yeah, it's been rocking. And ETC, I like the fixed coin amount too. The circulating supply. Like, dude, anything with a fixed coin supply, I think should do pretty well just based off of supply and demand. And ETC, their management has said they don't want to get rid of that. They don't want to start, letting just a bunch of coins out. Which I'm always a fan of that. Like some of the coins that have trillions or like trillions. Do coins have trillions? I believe some have trillions or crazy high, just hundreds of billions of coins. It's like they can go up, but there's so much supply. Wish I bought Mullen when you did, bro. There's always the next trade. There's always the next trade. There's always the next trade. I like to talk about, moves that I'm making on here, but, if you want to come trade and be notified every time a trade's sent out, then link in the description or in the pinned comment of the last video. It's very cheap. Honestly, the price should be higher because it pays for itself like too many times over again. But what did a new notification? It's been a pretty dull night as far as news. Goldman, Ukraine war, tighter financial conditions, risk to rates call. Huh? Goldman sees 424 basis point rate hikes in second half of the year. Goldman now sees 50 basis point hikes at both May, June Fed meetings. Goldman Fed to announce balance sheet reduction start in May. Is that going to do anything? No, the futures are not reacting to that. Interesting. 4 quadrillion to be exact. Yeah, it's crazy. BBIG is about to squeeze in 2 weeks. Option chain is fully loaded. Yeah, we were looking at that. Last night too? Yeah, I did get BBIG too. I mean, don't copy this trade because I could totally lose, and I mean, that's on whoever makes this trade because I'm not the guy to tell you this is a home run. I'm actually not as convinced in this than I was in Mullen, but I mean, I've been wrong before, but I do have the BBIG $4 calls for April 14th. 10 of them I bought at $31 a piece. Spent $310 on it. It's a portion of the profits made in the last 2 weeks off of Mullen and other trades. It's not even 10% of the profits. Made like 3 or 4, maybe more than that. 3 or 4 grand, maybe like 4.5, 5 grand just in options trades and Mullen in the last 2-ish weeks. So it's only taking a small profit amount and putting it into this kind of to see, you know, if Mullen does die down, this one might start to do some crazy stuff. Super Show is a mob. Ooh, yeah. Super Show is he's that guy. So is Chris. Win Lambo. He said I got that trade locked in. Yeah, I wanted to get more time on it, but you know, when I was looking at him, like I figured if there's going to be some kind of a squeeze event or something, it's gonna happen before April 14th, because typically when Trey or you know, other big YouTubers start to talk about a trade, it doesn't have that much of a delayed effect. Like, sure, like you said, it could take 2 weeks, but it's not going to take a month, right? Like it, and if it does, that's nothing that I could forecast. Like when somebody talks about something, it usually starts something or it doesn't. It doesn't usually take a month or two. But when you're looking at them, it's like they were almost the same price, but you know, I could get 10 of those for $31, or I could have got 10 of these for $47. So instead of spending $470, spent $330, and with that philosophy, it made more sense. But the Aprils are gonna decay pretty fast. Like coming, well, as long as BBIG does hold up at over 3, they shouldn't decay as fast. But if we don't see a move to the upside the rest of this week in BBIG, if we move down, then they will decay probably 25% at least. So I'm fully prepared for that one. But pretty close to the money. The premiums are not too bad relative to how the stock can move, to be honest. Like this thing could easily go to $5 again. And premiums, $33. Not terrible. Or yeah, now it's 33, but yeah. But I like to get, you know, 5 or 10 contracts though, because if it moves up $1, you made $10. If it moves up $10 a contract, you made $100. If it moves up $100 a contract, you made $1,000. So it's you tend to get some really nice gains like that. I'm feeling short squeeze coming soon for a lot of stocks. Yeah, I think so. Lambo. Yes, Chris. Man, Chris is always in here. Who's that guy? Yeah. You know, Russian Ukraine. Just wait for that headline, and you can almost with certainty guarantee everything's gonna rip. if a ceasefire or end of the conflict comes. Thank you for being patient. You have with all of us and answering everything. I have admiration to you. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Appreciate you. Appreciate that. I try to get to as many comments as possible, but sometimes I got a bad habit of just talking. So I try to get to as many comments as possible. See, I had the 96 call for DocuSign when it was at 76. And now we at like 100, very hyped. Integrated the 134820, but used the FSTO and the DMA, and now the TTMI squeeze indicators. Interesting. That's an interesting situation there. So that printed out good, huh? But you still have it? That would be solid. He said I was like the 69th, like, you know what I'm saying? That's funny. That's funny. We're not. We're playing short squeezes. Basically, yeah. Is Mullen still a buy in your opinion? I would probably stay away from it at this point. You could throw options on it, but I wouldn't go too crazy on it, just because I think you're really getting to that maximum attention unless we see another fundamental catalyst come out. Like, there has been some fundamental catalysts that have come out, like the battery technology, the car magazines, the Yahoo mentions. They had really good things to say, and that's kind of I wouldn't say like being dulled down at this point, but you've definitely seen most of the move. I know they got to raise capital soon. They have to raise stock soon. But they would probably wait and see what the stock does. If it goes to 10, you can raise a lot more capital, a lot more bang for your buck by issuing stock. So I think it can go higher, and it probably will. But, the risk to reward profile doesn't look as good right now. I even like BBIG as a better risk to reward profile. Buying the stock from here, you have a chance of it going up 100% if you just bought the shares. Or, it could go down to $1.50. I wouldn't see it going any lower than that unless there really is like bad news or something. And that was just the 60 second like. Oh, there we go. There we go. AVCT. Oh, American Virtual Cloud Technologies. That's crazy looking. That's a crazy move. Could be. I'll definitely have to do more due diligence on that. But 98 million market cap. That's pretty damn low. What is it? Virtual that delivers actionable outcomes for organizations by using IT and technology solutions to drive business outcomes and innovation, including network communications, data storage, desktops, and servers. The firm offers licensing and management software solutions and services that help customers optimize their software investments. Wow. Crazy. Yeah, that could be a good one. I'll look into that a little bit more. But looks pretty good. What? Maybe 60 million shares outstanding? 65? Rough math there. Could be good. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you guys for tuning in. We went a little overtime today. Shout out to all of you guys, the mods, everybody that shows up and asks questions and has good conversation. So that's it. You guys enjoy your night, and I will see you tomorrow.